Welcome back to Anderson's Smoke Show. Today we are back at the Masterbuilt Gravity Series with another modification video. Today we're going to add the Smoke Daddy pellet convection fan to this Masterbuilt to help combat some of the temperature inconsistencies within the grill. Stick around, see how we do it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell so that you can keep up with the latest content. Be sure to like the video and write me a comment. Let me know what you think of this Masterbuilt Gravity Series and this Smoke Daddy convection fan. So this Smoke Daddy pellet convection fan is actually made for their Pellet Pro smoker, and they have pre-drilled holes on top and just a mounting plate that you take off and you can mount this right on. So with the Masterbuilt, it's going to take a little bit of modification, and we're going to have to put some holes into the side of the smoker. So I'm going to show you what I did.
Warning, the acts in which you are about to see will obviously and certainly void the warranty on your grill. Anderson and his Smoke Show is not responsible or liable for any damages, voided warranty, or angry wives. Modify at your own risk.
So in order to mount this, we have to drill 5 holes because it mounts with these 4, and then we've got the hole for the shaft. So what I did, if you look up here, is I made myself a template using that hole pattern, and I'm going to take a center punch or a small screwdriver and punch. That way I've got a place for the drill to grab as I drill those 5 holes. These 4 are going to be 3/16, and the center hole for the shaft is going to be 3/8. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, now that we've got those marked with that center punch, I did use a small Phillips screwdriver. We should be able to remove this template. And I have the 5 marks there, so I should be able to easily grab that with the drill. Just in case there's any confusion, this is a drill. This is a DeWalt 20 volt. Let's go ahead and put those 3/16 holes into the Masterbuilt. I'm going to use the 3/16 as to pilot this hole for the shaft, and then we'll open that up with the 3/8. All right, so we've got our mounting holes, we got our center hole for that shaft. Let's go ahead and get this thing mounted. So it probably looks like a different day to you, and that's because it is. Last night when I went to mount this to the grill, I realized that I didn't have all the hardware necessary. Now this Smoke Daddy convection fan is actually meant to go on their Pellet Pro smoker. That Pellet Pro smoker has the mounting hardware already built into it so that you could simply just attach this right to it. So I didn't have the proper nuts or washers or locking washers. I went to the hardware store this morning, picked up some hex nuts, some washers, and some locking washers so that we can get this mounted properly. When it comes to drilling the holes to mount this washer here can come off so that you can actually drill a smaller size hole for that shaft. I decided to err on the side of caution and drill a larger hole. You could get away with like a 5/16, but I went ahead and went with a 3/8. That just gave me a little bit more of a tolerance so that I know that the shaft's not going to rub when it's mounted. All right, it's time to get this thing mounted. I'm going to mount it so that the buttons are facing the front so that when I'm turning the grill on, I can just reach down below and hit the on switch for the fan. Let's go ahead and get this mounted. I'm going to go ahead and add a washer and a locking washer. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this hex nut. And I'm just going to hand tighten it for now. So I've got a socket wrench here that I'm going to use to tighten it down all the way. It's time to go ahead and mount the fan. It's got a reverse threaded nut so that it doesn't come loose when it's spinning. We want the blades facing away from the motor. Let's go ahead and get this mounted. I'm just gonna get in here and snug this up with my 10mm socket here. Remember, this is reverse threaded, so you're gonna go the opposite way that you've always been taught. Let's go ahead and power this up, see what happens. Wow, I can actually feel quite a bit of airflow through here. The grill's not on, this is strictly just coming from that fan. That's pretty sweet. So truthfully, when it came to mounting this fan, our options were pretty limited. Ideally, I would have liked to put it right on top so that we could get the air movement coming from top to circulating around the entire grill. But because of the way that the lid opens, there's no way that that motor housing would have ever worked. So then I thought about side mounting it or mounting it on the rear. The problem then becomes that it's intruding on the cooking space, and because that's a metal blade spinning pretty fast with no kind of guard or housing to protect your fingers, I didn't want to put that anywhere near the cooking surfaces to where it could cause an injury. So I decided that the only place to honestly mount it was right here. I'm hoping that this will create enough additional airflow that it will help even out the temperature within the grill. Today we're going to recreate our temperature tests and our biscuit tests that we did before on this grill. We want to see if the modifications that we've made have made a difference. All right, for this test, we're going to go ahead and use some of the Kingsford briquettes. I'm going to load this sucker up. So the lighting procedure for this Masterbuilt, we want to go ahead and have the hopper lid open. We want to open up the ash clean out door. I already have a fire starter preloaded in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my butane torch, and I suggest that anybody with this grill has a butane torch for this light up procedure. And I'm just going to go in here and get this thing started. All right, this thing is rolling coal now. Let's go ahead and open up these air vents. We're going to close the hopper lid. We're going to close this ash clean out. And we're going to come over here to the controller. We're going to hit the temperature button. For this test, we're going to do it at 300 degrees. Hit the temperature button one more time, and the fan should kick on. We've got the grill going. We're going to let this get up to 300 degrees, but before we do, we're going to turn on this convection fan that we installed. Just come check it out. Look right here. Just hit that button. Now we've got some good airflow within the smoker. We're going to go ahead and adjust this damper in the back. Now this damper is made by LSS Mods. I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description to his store. These are custom fabricated stainless steel modifications. I'm going to go ahead and set this at about halfway. All right, so I want to show you what the smoke pattern and the airflow looks like with and without that fan, now that we got this thing fired up. All right, we've got the grill up to 300 degrees now. We're gonna go ahead and get 16 biscuits scattered out throughout the grill so that we can start this test off. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put 10 biscuits down on the bottom rack. And then we're gonna place the last 6 on top. Now, if you've never seen a biscuit test before, what we're doing is we're scattering biscuits out across the grill, and we're trying to identify hot spots. Basically, by looking at the doneness of the biscuit, or biscuits burnt, or some of them not cooked, you know, what do they look like in comparison from one to the other? That will tell us where the hot spots and cold spots are within the grill. To accompany that test, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple probes in, and we're gonna read some temperatures. All right, probe 1, we're going to stick here in the middle. Probe 2, we're also going to stick here in the middle. And I know we're on the grate, but this is how we did the first test, so we're gonna do this exactly the same. I've got the grill closed up. We're gonna let this thing even out at 300 degrees. We're gonna let those probes get up to temperature, and we're gonna see what those readings look like. We'll see in a few minutes. All right, so the Masterbuilt has been setting steady for about 20 minutes at this point, and it is at 304 degrees is what the grill is reading. I'm gonna show you what my probes are reading. It's a little troubling. I almost wonder if this fan is causing a problem. So we see the temperature right now, 234, 235, and 229. And like I said, this has been running for a while. I'm gonna turn the fan off. And let's see what happens to the temperature. Let's see if there's an instant reaction. "10 minutes after turning the fan off. So I want you to see what the temperatures jumped up to be. It's almost went up 100 degrees. And though they're not even, they're way closer to set point than what they were with the fan on. And just as a test, we're gonna come back over here and I'm gonna turn this fan on and I want you to watch the temperature. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fan on and let's see what happens once that starts running. All right, here we are about 4 minutes in after turning the fan back on. As you can see, the temperature's dropped significantly below set point, and it seems like it's impossible for it to climb. I'm gonna go out and say that adding this convection fan in its location is a fail. Don't do that. I just voided my warranty by drilling holes in the grill, and now that $85 fan is worthless for me. Now that's not a knock at Smoke Daddy, because that is a convection fan for a specific smoker to be mounted in a specific location. And on that, it's on the top. I can't make that happen with this Masterbuilt without making some serious modifications. Now that I've voided the warranty, and now that I have this fan that apparently does nothing for me, but keeps the temperature lower and probably burns a lot more coals with all this extra airflow, I don't know. But I'm going to say that I might play around. I might try and make some kind of heat shield or guard to help direct airflow. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. So my recommendation is don't drill holes in your smoker right now. Don't add a convection fan because it doesn't work. I just ruined my warranty and wasted $85. And I woke up early to go to Lowe's to get those nuts and bolts. So thanks again for watching. Don't make the same mistakes I did. We'll see you next time on Anderson Smoke Show.
Thanks again for tuning in to Anderson Smoke Show. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep up with the latest content.